Okay, I think we are live. So, hi everyone, this is Christina from Dora Hacks. Welcome to the third episode of Waves Protocol Workshop session. Bringing you today by Austin. Austin is the beta manager of Waves Protocol, and he will talk about the current Waves ecosystem and Waves docs universe. So, hopefully, this topic meets your interest and to unveil some key insights to the potential stakeholders out there. Before we start, here's a quick overlook of the Waves Hackathon. So Waves Global Hackathon 2022 is running virtually on Dara Hacks from October 15 to December 15. We're looking for you to joining us as the registration is made accessible to everyone to create innovative projects that can run on the Waves blockchain. So grab your chance and submit virtually through Dora Hacks, and everyone, literally everyone, have the opportunity to join. And quickly wrapping up my part, anyone's watching from the YouTube or Binance Live is welcome to raise question as the workshop go along, and I'll collect the comments and have Austin answering them by the end. Now, without further ado, I'm gonna hand over the rest to Austin. Feel free to start.
Yeah, thank you, Christina. It's great to meet you. It's great to be here. I want to apologize in advance because coming to you from my room where there's a fire detector and it's got a speaker on it. And about 10 minutes ago, they told me that they're going to run some tests. So we're hoping that we can get this done before those speakers come on. But if it does, I'll move to the other room.
For sure, I understand.
Yeah,
Think across it.
just a heads up. Just a heads up. I'm not in danger.
I get it. It happens to my building all the time.
Um, so yeah, I'm the business development manager for Waves Labs. I have been on the team since about May, so it's been about 6 months or so. I'm here in Miami, where Waves has an office that we're opening up, and we're going to host some events over the coming months and years here at our sort of US HQ. And the distinction I mentioned about Waves Labs. Waves and Waves Labs are essentially the same thing, right? We're all working towards the expansion and improvement of the Waves blockchain and all of its constituent parts. Waves Labs essentially does all, you can think of it like non-technical stuff. So Waves, the blockchain, has all of our technical engineering talent, sort of the founding team and the ecosystem projects and all the engineers. Waves Labs does everything that's not that. We do events, we do business development, we do marketing and community work, and it's a smaller team. Our team on Waves Labs is about maybe 15 or so people now, so it's growing. But today, I'm not going to talk about Waves Labs. I'm going to talk about the ecosystem that Waves has. And one thing that Sasha, our founder, Sasha Ivanov, he does a weekly AMA. And if you tune into any of his talks, or he's got like a blog and like a Telegram channel where he talks about his thoughts on the ecosystem, on crypto, on everything. He's been around for so long. He's a wealth of knowledge and has a very interesting perspective as a founder for this layer one from 2016, which is, just almost no one is tenured that long in crypto these days, especially not most of the most popular figures who spearhead new projects, who capture a lot of attention and sort of like a lot of narrative surrounding them on places like Twitter. And um, anyway, I was just bringing that up because this talk will, if you tune into his talks, this will kind of sound similar. There's a lot of overlap that we're going to have, but I did want to kind of share my own thoughts, blend in my own thoughts as well. And before we get into everything, a little bit on my background as it pertains to crypto. Before I joined Waves and since, I've been primarily interested in DeFi applications. So I got interested in DeFi in the tail end of the summer of 2020, which is called DeFi summer, and I dove in. So this is DeFi 1.0 on Ethereum, and I had invested in crypto and known about crypto prior to that, but I didn't really get my hands dirty. I wasn't called to action until I saw what some of these products could do. In a way that is a feeling that we're trying to replicate on Waves, right? Like we want products that are interesting for people to use and compel people to use them. We don't want to just build products that no one's going to use. So we try to take as much community feedback into the equation. And to that end, we're also pioneering a program to empower the community to build their own protocols, to build their own applications on Waves itself. And we're putting our money where our mouth is through our program. It's called Waves Camp. So essentially, this is an incubator for early stage projects where we come to an agreement. We offer capital, we offer marketing resources, developer resources to help people understand the programming language, the environment for building on Waves itself. Basically it's a one-stop shop resource. So if someone had an interesting idea and maybe they're not a technical person, or maybe they are, and all they have is a white paper and they're like, hey, like I don't have the resources, I need money to make this thing work, but I think it's a good idea. We encourage people like that to fill out the application and go through the process to sort of become involved in Waves Labs. And in turn, this is what's going to be the driving engine for the specificity in our ecosystem. Because right now, what Waves has done is essentially spearhead all of the core pillars of a good blockchain. We've made those ourselves. Every smart contract platform, every layer one needs money markets and needs the good, liquid, fast dexes, and needs NFT marketplaces for people who maybe aren't like me and maybe are more interested in NFTs than DeFi, and they're not drawn to a chain to earn yield. They're drawn to a chain to check out the community for NFTs and trading NFTs. Maybe they're scalpers. Maybe they are really good at trading NFTs, and they don't care about traditional tokens like Waves tokens, ERC20 tokens, whatever it could be. They don't want to trade those, but they do, maybe they are artists and they're more interested in sort of being involved in that. So my point is there's clearly, the evolution of smart contract platforms is trending towards these core pillars of services that people expect when they come to said blockchain. And it's an extremely, extremely competitive market. Myself, I started on Ethereum, and then, I sort of migrated and followed where other trailblazers had gone before onto new, DeFi ecosystems on other chains. So if you kind of remember sequentially, it went roughly something like this. DeFi was born on Ethereum. It was sort of copy and pasted onto other EVM chains in succession. So Binance Smart Chain had its own little, its own season of a huge proliferation of new DeFi projects. Many of them are the same teams who built them in the first place on Ethereum. And since the code is, superimposable, you can just take it from one EVM chain and essentially use it again on countless other EVM chains. But you can refresh your narrative. You can refresh your sort of branding. You can totally rebrand. You can stay anonymous, and then people don't know that you're building all of these different similar projects on different chains. And then it kind of had a snaking path, and it went from chain to chain, and eventually it went to Avalanche and Phantom, and then it went to other EVM chains, other non-EVM chains like Solana, right? It just like the the impetus for people to build these projects was clear as day for these chains who didn't have them. One place where it actually did not sort of find itself popping up in is Waves. So that was actually one of the most interesting, personally, the most interesting things about Waves, because it is a non-EVM chain, and it is more tenured than pretty much every single blockchain I just mentioned. You know, Phantom, Avalanche, Solana, layer 2 stuff, Polygon, everything, right? Like everything except for Ethereum itself, in effect. And a lot of the other blockchains from its class of 2016, call it 2015, 2016, some of these other blockchains just simply, besides Ethereum, simply never developed a smart contract community or smart contract functionality. If you're Cardano, that's still like, I don't want to get into that, but my point is it's extremely interesting because the Waves ecosystem offers fast fractions of a penny. I'm talking about transactions. They're fast, over 100 transactions per second. They're cheap, fractions of a penny per transaction. The decentralization is admittedly not as high as something like Ethereum. Therefore, I use decentralization and security interchangeably, although there's a nuance there, I understand. But for this conversation, I'll just say that, decentralization is massively important, because security obviously should be a chief tenant on your blockchain. And if it's not, then you're going to get dunked on Twitter if you have if your blockchain goes down, if your founders, if the execs on who are making the decisions on these things don't value security. Maybe it's not going to be today, maybe it's not going to be next week. At some point in time, something will happen, and it's going to potentially massively impact just crazy amounts of capital. And we've seen that time and time again. Blockchains get paused, hacks happen, exploits happen. Security needs to be extremely emphasized. And on Waves, in our 6-year uptime, almost, we're coming up on 7 years. In all of that uptime, it's got a fantastic track record. It has performed immaculately, all things considered. So my point is, I was interested, and I thought that if we set the groundwork for these types of projects to come to our shores, make it as easy as possible for developers to come to a place where there's a very compelling argument to be had for security, speed, decentralization, cost in terms of throughput of transactions, and then if we incentivize them and sort of do whatever we can to bring these people on board to develop, then we could supplement what we already have with we've got our own algorithmic stablecoin. It's called Neutrino Protocol. It's USDN. At one point in time, multiple billions of dollars in market cap. It is an algorithmic stablecoin, so it has ups and downs, but it's been stress tested. It actually predates almost all other algorithmic stablecoins. It predates UST from Terra Luna, for example, and it has DPEG'd. And this is part of the evolution of new financial products. Straight up, I mean, that's what it is. There's nothing else to call it. It's a new piece of technology. It's a new financial product, and there is experimentation there. And obviously, I don't want to make light of that, especially in the wake of what did happen with Terra. That was the destruction of not just capital but people's lives. But in terms of USDN. There have been many implementations and updates and fine tuning of the USDN Neutrino protocol There's a new, I won't go too deep into the specifics of how it works, but suffice to say, there are new implementations of mechanisms to restore the peg faster. There's ongoing discussions on things like collateralization ratio and the mechanism to do recapitalization, which is essentially restoring peg, another way to put it. So we have this stable coin, and it's multi-chain. There's pools for it on Ethereum, and it's got a ton of liquidity if you need it. We have a borrowing and lending platform. This is also, it goes without saying, every chain has them. It's like Aave on Ethereum would be the most well-known one. We have multiple dexes. We have what's called an order book style dex, which is Waves Exchange, although it's recently been rebranded to WX.network. So this is where folks can go to, sort of anyone. If you have a trader's mentality and if you're looking to trade, order book obviously is preferable to the alternative, which would be an AMM, an automated market maker. We have one of those as well. It's called SwapFi. So that's more of a Uniswap style.
By any chance, can you show us all the projects that you just talked about it?
Absolutely. Why don't I share my screen? Here we go. Can you see it okay?
Perfect.
Okay, so as I was mentioning, here is Neutrino. So this is the stablecoin I mentioned, and I already went into pretty good detail, so I won't linger on this one too long. But this has been around for quite some time, and I mentioned it is lost peg. It's been restored to peg. I think right now it's nearing peg. So in our minds, that's another way of saying it's been stress tested. Right. And each time it restores to peg, the stronger it becomes and the more we learn about it. Okay. Now let's go to Waves Exchange. Okay. The Waves Exchange, WX network, the URL is still the same. So if you're trying to get there, it's just waves.exchange. So this is the most, in my opinion, the most important, the most visited, the most popular application pretty much on any blockchain. It's going to be the number one DEX, right? It's the first place you're going to go when you get there. Maybe you bridged over some, whatever, some Ethereum, and you want to convert it into the native currency. This is where you can go. All of your spot trading, all of your sort of onboarding. You don't have to bridge, by the way. You can just fiat to crypto straight into the exchange itself, and then you have all of your options. If you want to trade, here's an example. This is everything that you would expect to find if you're familiar with these types of things. If you're a trader, then you know how an order book works, and you have a lot more ability to execute the trades with more, fine tuning. However, if this understandably so, if this is intimidating to you, like it would be to almost all my friends, then you can go to SwapFi.
Can you briefly explain what are differences between these DeFi dApps and the dApps out there? Why is like a better options for people to use it?
Are you talking like the comparable dApps on other chains?
The advantage in general?
Sure thing. So there's one thing that I'll say first, and I don't want to give too much of a history lesson, but the piece of technology that makes a decentralized exchange possible, extremely interesting to me. It's basically called an automated market maker. And this is what we're looking at right now. So SwapFi is an automated market maker. So what that means is you don't need a counterparty in order to execute a trade. Normally, if you want to buy something, you need someone who's willing to sell it for you at that price. And with the automated market maker, it uses pools of liquidity to determine a price, and then average Joe approaches the market maker, automated market maker, and is able to say, or rather ask it, hey, what's the price right now for waves? Well, based on the smart contract, based on the inflows of liquidity, based on the last people who came to use it, it's basically going to say, hey, the price right now is $5, whatever. So then you can either supply liquidity and earn yield, the yield comes from the fees that are taken from every trade, or you can be like, okay, cool, I want to trade some USDN for some waves. So then you interact with the smart. What I'm saying is you're interacting with the smart contract that is always giving you a fair price, and that means that you don't need what I talked about here, the order book. You don't need other people who have bids and asks, and it's faster, and it's you sort of like keep your hands a little bit more clean. So SwapFi is the main AMM, and it's really easy to use. All you need to do is connect your wallet, and then this screen right here. This is what most people are going to be familiar with. All you need to do, punch in asset one. And then, if you want to trade it for, like in my example, USDN for waves, you just come here. It would, boom, there's your price. USDN is one waves is worth 3.5 USDN. So then you could sort of execute your trading and stuff here. So these are the applications that average people who come to the blockchain are going to interact with first, and we need these to be as good as possible. So these are what I'm saying. These have been built by our own Waves team, and these are maintained by us. So we're able to sort of all stay on the same page. Same thing with Neutrino, and another one I'll show you here. This is our sort of our main hub where you can come and you can learn about the ecosystem. If you scroll down, then here's a snapshot of exactly what I'm talking about. So Neutrino, our stablecoin, the DEX is Waves Ducks. I'll talk on that very briefly. Puzzle Swap's another DEX, and then SignArt is our NFT marketplace. Why don't I dive into Waves Ducks real quick? These are the inspiration for on the promo. I've got I've been duckified. So that's a reference to this project here, Waves Ducks. So this isn't what you're looking at. Is an NFT collection. What it is outside of that is really, really interesting to me. It's a blend of DeFi. It's a blend of like a metaverse play to earn ecosystem. So okay. It's an NFT collection. You can stake them. You can take your wallet. I'll sort of walk you through this. Okay. There we go. Okay. So when you have one of these NFTs in your wallet, you can come here to the sort of central hub for Waves Ducks. And let's say you're just interested in making money, right? You don't care about the games. You don't care about, trading the art. You just want to hold on to it and sell it, because you think it's going to go up in value. Another thing that you could do would be to, have one of these NFTs, and then you could essentially stake it. So you're able to, let me see, I'll just trade it, farm it, metaverse. So yeah, essentially farming it is another way to put it. So when you have one, you're able to earn a yield on it. So on top of a traditional NFT, you hope quote unquote number go up. Well, with these, you can also earn yield on it while it's sort of hanging out in your wallet. If you're more interested in doing something active, having fun with it, and then also earning yield, then you can come here, you can follow the guide, you can use these monetization strategies, which essentially involves playing games, and then you earn egg tokens, which you can take to SwapFi or you can take to Waves Exchange. You can trade them and you can earn additional yield on these. Additionally, this is, you can think of it like an open source IP. We're interested in incentivizing other people to use this IP. This game is very popular. It's probably one of the most popular NFT collection in GameFi combos that there is. So it's like similar to like in Axie. That's a really powerful launch pad for someone else. Let's say you're a developer, you have an idea for a game that could utilize one of these NFTs. Well, you're able to create your own token. So if you have a really popular NFT collection that people are actively using in these games, you could incentivize those people by offering a new token that you can make. That if people play your game, they get your token, and then that would be another sort of boost to the entire Waves Ducks ecosystem. So, as much as possible, we're trying to just enhance people's abilities to use these. If it's our IP, if it's our bedrock foundation for what's on the blockchain itself, that's most what we want to sort of empower people to do. So I'll kind of wrap. I'm conscious of the time here, but all of our ecosystem, all of our information on our ecosystem can be found here on our waves.tech. And then you scroll down and there's more. If you want to learn how these things work, you can come on here. And then for the Waves Camp, which is the the incubator that I mentioned, you can also get to that page from here. There's an application form for you to fill out, and then we'll be in touch after that. So if you have an idea, or if you just have some questions, then we'd be more than happy to dive into those things. But I wanted to pass it back and see if there's any questions.
Yeah. So just curious about like seeing all the dApps that Waves already on it. So can you tell us a little about the upcoming trends and the next position that Wave is opting for?
Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned, my history has as it pertains to crypto has been, to keep my eyes on how DeFi evolves. And, I think that we've seen the coming and going of so many new ideas, and a lot of people are kind of off put by so many of the ideas because they're bad ideas. And listen, I totally get that. I totally understand that. My philosophy is, this is an entire sector, an entire industry that needs to evolve a lot, right? To find legitimate product market fit for some of these financial products or just experimental products. And that is going to involve a lot of bad ideas and a lot of bad ideas that go extinct. And I think that's a good thing. So, my philosophy is like, hey, if you have an idea, even if it's kind of crazy, might as well, now's the time to try it out, like build it somewhere, make it, make your pitch of why it's useful, and then see how it works out and iterate on those ideas. So with that being said, I think there's a lot of very interesting things happening on other chains for DeFi products, derivatives of projects that we've already seen. And I think that the biggest opportunity for someone to come to Waves, a lot of these ideas that have proven to have an audience don't exist on Waves. Like I mentioned, like we have the most, we have the nuts and bolts, the bread and butter of the blockchain. But the opportunity is huge for someone to come in and build a competent team to build. We have, at one point in time, we had multiple billions of dollars in TVL on our chain. And it's a good thing that there's not that many applications outside of the ones that we've built ourselves, because that means that for the next people who come in, achieving that TVL sort of like onto their what if it's protocol, if it's a DeFi application, NFT application, or something else, could be a very, very compelling argument to be made that there's a lot of latent capital that would be willing to use their protocol, and a lot of money to be made, to be honest with you. So I'm very excited to see, this is a program that we've recently kicked off, and we're just interested to see what people build. So I think the opportunity is huge for people who do decide to, get their hands dirty.
Sure. I got an interesting comment from the Binance Live. Someone's asking whether you guys have plans for the NFT giveaway on Docs.
Plans on the NFT giveaway?
Yes.
I'm not sure if we had a giveaway scheduled or not. Unfortunately, I'm not in tune what we're doing with that. I would say the best opportunity to, sort of get involved with our NFT stuff would be to follow the Waves Ducks guys on Twitter and just stay abreast of what they have going on there. A lot of activity going on there. Actually, recently they built an augmented reality game to reward people for using it as well. So it's another game that they built. You can play it on your phone. It's like a duck hunt. So you have this, and then think like Pokemon Go. And then you play the game, you find objects, little golden ducks, golden eggs in the world, and then you can link that to your wallet, and yada yada. You make more money playing that game. So
there's a existing feature in the Duck universe.
I'm sorry?
Is that an existing feature?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a new mobile game. It's called Duck Hunt, and it is recently unveiled. We had a presentation. One of the core engineers, his name is Enal. I believe he's going to be doing one of these talks in the coming weeks. So I don't want to steal his thunder too much, but he's built a project, implemented on the project, updated it, and this is a mobile game. If you go to the it might even be. Well, I stopped sharing my screen, but it might even be on the webpage here. Let me try to find it. Okay, I don't see it on the page here, but I can I'll keep looking for it. All right. It's out there somewhere, but anyway, I don't want to. Do we have any more questions?
Let me see. Yeah, kind of just like curious about like through this hackathon, do you have any specific expectations in recruiting developers who specifically focusing on certain sector of the Web3? Is there any expectations of yours?
Number one objective for these hackathons is to recruit talented, developers to build on our chain and sort of open their eyes to what we're offering in terms of capital, in terms of like the all the other package resources that we could possibly give, right? Marketing, the programming workshops, other developers from our core team that would help them build, answer questions, and basically liaise if they needed any questions or assistance. So in general, there is no more valuable resource than talented coding professionals in Web3. The competition for that resource is understandably very, very high. We have other layer ones that have similar to us, hundreds of millions of dollars in incentives or
Mm-hmm.
committed capital toward people who want to build. So, we're entering that arena as well, and we understand that we need to be competitive and we need to offer as much assistance as possible to incentivize these folks to build on our chain. And we already have a lot of interested applicants. We have dozens. All of our hands are full, reviewing applications, talking with people, reading white papers, putting our thoughts together. So it's a very interesting process. It's why I joined the Waves team, because I knew we would be doing this, and I knew it would be a very exciting time in the ecosystem. So yeah, hackathons are part of that for sure. Like if you're around Miami, during any of these hackathons, please come by. It's going to be a fun time, and we're going to host more events in the future, not just hackathons. We already have. We've done a lot of events this year. We had like during what was it? During Consensus in Austin, Texas. We rented a house. We threw a party. We had a panel speak during NFT NYC. We had a booth at Permissionless in West Palm Beach. We're going to keep doing these types of things, and we're going to keep engaging with the community. So
Awesome. Thank you, Austin, for bringing out a presentation today.
of course.
So that's all the questions from outside and as well as the comment sections. And thank you, Austin. And now for our audience who are keen to know more about workshops, the Waves Hackathon, or just have like general questions to ask about Waves, feel free to reach out to our Hackathon socials, and we have our contact information indicated below in the video bio. And so ensure to follow us on YouTube and Bisuness Live to keep up with the latest Web3 trends and technical workshops. We have routine workshops and demo session coming every week, and so that you don't have to miss it. Well, thank you, Austin, for joining us today. It was super, super insightful, and thank you for kind of enlightening us with all those topics, and we're looking forward to seeing you in the future episodes. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. It was great to meet you, and a lot of fun.
Awesome. See ya.
Yeah.